Undefeated and it feels so good.
Go, Spurs, go, 'cause the Giants stay.
What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Hope you're having a great weekend. And our San Antonio Spurs finished the preseason undefeated, and we are seeing some great things on the court. Not perfect, I understand, but I do see the makings of a playoff team, and that is all without our second best player in De'Aaron Fox. We're going to talk about all the players in the preseason, those who played and those who haven't played, and wrap it up here. And of course, while I'm doing so, drop a comment down below. How pumped are you for next season? How pumped are you? I know I am. First off, let's talk about Wemby. Turnovers aside, which I know he struggled with during the whole preseason, might be trying some different stuff too. He has been a menace in the paint, and that is something I have been just asking for. You guys too in the live chats. Wemby, do more work in the paint. You're so unstoppable. You're so big, and now he's stronger too. And he is scoring more at will in the paint, which you can see with his field goal percentage of 66%. But he's also getting to the free throw line. His stats, of course, these are only preseason, but they are video game stats. But right now, he is looking like a top player, top three player in the league, if not number one, sooner than later. Wemby, wow, just from the last two seasons to this year, unbelievable. Up next, Stephon Castle. He showed us last night that he can be a playmaker. Yes, only one game, but against a good Pacers team. But his efficiency is up as well. Something I think we all really wanted to see is get your efficiency up. Yes, only preseason, but taking better shots. I'd like to see him continue at that 40% field goal percentage. I would love for him to stay at 38% or better 3-point for the season. But I have a question for you guys. I haven't seen this reported anywhere, but just maybe it's me, but does it seem like Steph is getting a little bit more above the rim than he did last season? Is it possible his vert has increased maybe by an inch or two? I don't know, but I don't know. Eyeball for me, it seems like he's getting a little higher up in the air. Up next, Keldon Johnson. Much better in the paint. So much better than we saw the last few years. Not taking in as many threes, and the threes he's taking, he's been a bit, been more efficient on. What I'm seeing out of Keldon, and he is efforting more in defense, even if the results aren't always there, is he's now playing like the sixth man of the year that we want him to be last year. He was that pretty much in the second half of last year, but I like what I'm seeing out of Keldon. Keep bringing it, Keldon. And then up next, maybe one of the biggest surprises of the preseason, at least for me, I don't know about you, but Julian Champagnie has been a sniper and is fulfilling the role of the shooter that we need on this team. He is shooting 63% from three, and that's not on a small sample size. That is 6 threes a game. He has looked absolutely fantastic shooting the three and solid on defense as usual. Could he be a starter sooner than later? Could he take Harrison Barnes' spot? We'll see. I mean, he's still young. He's inexpensive. Champagnie, yeah, I love what you're doing. Speaking of loving what somebody's doing, Luke Cornett, as advertised and more, he has been a phenomenal backup for Victor Wembanyama, shooting at a ridiculous 79%. Granted, it's all around the rim, but I don't care. It's going in, and that's the most important thing. That's what you're paid to do. Put the ball in the hoop. Could he end up, when it's all said and done after this season, being one of the biggest steals of free agency? I love it. Love what I'm seeing. Keeping it going. Devin Vassell. Okay, so this is a player that a lot of you want to see move on from the team. You want to see him traded before the All-Star break. And I get it. I don't like him at the three. He's undersized. Obviously, don't want a player making that much money coming off the bench, but he has looked decent, minus the three ball. His 3-point shooting was not dropping during the preseason. He could be the odd man out when it's all said and done. We'll see. Rooting for him like I do all the guys on our team, but he's the one guy I think if there's one player on the roster that I'd look at and say he might get traded before the All-Star break. Unfortunately for Devin, it would be him. Up next, Carter Bryant. You look good, but because of this team's depth, which looks legit, which is something we haven't had since whenever. How many years do we see that the starters are having a lead and then the backups come in, especially in the Wemby era? Wemby comes out, everything just turns to ish. Not so much right now. I like what I'm seeing Carter, but I think he's going to spend some time on Austin. Dylan Harper, the other draft pick from this season or this year, also as advertised. Looks like he is going to be extremely solid running the second unit off the bench, and just the way that he can just slice and dice his defenders and get into the paint and score at the rim. Yeah, he is going to be a lot of fun to watch, and I wouldn't be shocked if he's our future starting point guard in a few years. Of course, That brings up the big question, what to do with De'Aaron Fox. We'll figure that out in the future. Lindy Waters III, wasn't expecting much for him coming into the preseason, but he has been an absolute sniper coming off the bench. He's getting an eye surgery, so he's going to miss maybe the first game or two. But yeah, he's as advertised. So yay. David Jones Garcia is a player that we all love. He was the summer league hero. He's a hero in the overtime win against the Jazz, but he's going to be in Austin. His efficiency 34% from the field, 0 from 3. He's got some work to do, but that's a player that we definitely want to keep on a two-way contract. Adam Flagler, sorry, some of you asked about him. I don't think he makes the team. He could make it on Austin play for Austin, we don't have any more two-way contracts left, so he won't be signed with the Spurs, but he could play in Austin. Same thing with Stanley Umedi, who I will say that dude can dunk. I like the way he finishes. A guy who will be on the roster is Harrison Barnes. Struggled in the preseason. He's a vet, though. He's an NBA champion vet at that. He will be fine in the regular season, but I don't like him starting at the 4. He's undersized. He's not a good defender. He's not a good rebounder. I'd rather him at the 3, which then the question is, who at the 4? And I think that's where this team's biggest needs are. We are set at the 5 with Wemby and Cornette. Obviously, our guard rotation is overflowing, but when you look at the 3 and the 4, there's question marks there. Hopefully the Spurs figure it out. The other Harrison on the team, Harrison Ingram, up and down preseason, he will be in Austin. Jordan McLaughlin only played one time, and that was last night. Garbage time backup, that he's a vet that can shoot, so a guy worth keeping around. Micah Potter played better last night. I don't think he makes the team. Riley Minix, boy, he struggled, but he will be in Austin. So good luck in Austin. Work on things there. And last but not least, for players that played, Bismack Biyombo. He's a garbage time backup or an emergency backup like he was last season. Now, for the players that did not play, we got to talk about De'Aaron Fox for a moment. I think he'll be fine once he's 100%, but I do have concerns with a soft tissue injury, which the hamstring injury is going to keep him out for 5 games? Originally, it was expected he'll be good to. It's frustrating because so many videos I've talked about. I can't wait to Wemby and Fox have an offseason to work together and have a preseason together. Well, not this year, but Fox is a vet. He will be fine. Then we got to talk about the other guy that hasn't played. Well, there's 2 other guys. The first one's quick. Kelly Olynyk hasn't played. He'll be fine. They're saying a heel injury with him, but he also just, him and his wife had a baby, so that's probably a good reason to be missing preseason as well. We're going to talk about Jeremy Sochan. Another injury, a minor injury, just a little minor wrist injury. He's going to miss the opening night. He missed, obviously, all preseason. That is 4 injuries in the last year, whether you call it minor or significant. If you go back to last season, start of the season, Jeremy had that weird thumb injury where he ran into Chris Paul and needed minor surgery, but he was cooking before that. And then shortly after that, he had the on and off back issues. That's 2. Then he had the calf injury in the offseason that stopped him playing with his national team in Poland. And now this wrist injury. And the wrist injury is minor. But one thing we can't have this season, Spurs fans, is these 3 words together. Jeremy Sochan injured. I'm rooting for Jeremy. He's a great perimeter defender. He's a great defender on the team. He seems like a fun guy. But sometimes the best ability is availability, and that's been something he's been struggling with lately. And if he has an injury-plagued season, he will not be a Spur next season. So Jeremy, hopefully it's the last time I have to see you're injured with the wrist, and he's healthy the rest of the season and lives up to the hype. He said he put a lot of work in the offseason. I want to see it. I need to see it. I need to see improvement somewhere. We've seen a lot of improvements with our guys so far. I mean, Wemby is the first one. Champagny showed improvement. Keldon showed improvement. Castle showed improvement. There's improvements everywhere on this team, and it's just minor. But we don't know what Jeremy's improved on yet because we haven't seen him, not even for 1 second on the court. So, Jeremy, I'm rooting for you. First and foremost, stay healthy. And then last but not least, because he's not a player, I think we need to talk about Coach Mitch Johnson. Mitch was absolutely frustrating last season with some of his lineups and just, he's still stoic. He's still over there on the sideline chewing his gum with his arms crossed. But I honestly can't say, in garbage, not counting garbage time, but I don't remember moments, Spurs fans, in the preseason where I sat there and said, what the hell are we doing? What is this lineup? Why do we have 4 guards and a Mamu? None of those head-scratching lineups like, Mitch, what in the F are you doing? What is this lineup? You're costing this game. I don't remember having one moment like that, guys. I think his substitutions and rotations made sense. Now, granted, his supporting coaching staff around him is fantastic, but overall, I got to say, I have no issues with what Mitch Johnson did in the preseason, unless I missed it. Let me know in the comments down below if I totally missed something. But overall, I think he did okay. And a lot of the season, we're looking at the players, does rest on the shoulders of the players on the court. Let's not forget, we have a rookie head coach in his first full season. I'm counting as a rookie. He only coached, 77 games last year. But, a lot of this is going to fall on Mitch, too. But so far, I thankfully don't have any complaints. All right, Spurs fans, that's what I got on this. How excited are you? We did it. We finished 5-0. I know we talked about it a little bit in the last video about how excited we were, but we actually did it. We saw a little more at Castle, and I see improvements. His shooting form looks better. I don't think he's going to be a three-point shooter of the year, the three-point shooting contest top type of player this year, but I see improvements. But the big one is our unicorn, our alien, Victor Wembanyama. Something I've been clamoring for the last 2 years for him to do more work in the paint, and he's doing it. And we're seeing him now with that added muscle, that added strength, that added Shaolin monk technique. We're seeing him move guys around more. And wow, the sky's the limit for this kid. And with him being as good as he is, other players are going to follow. I'm excited for the season. I've been saying it before, saying it all off season. 50 wins playoffs. I truly believe it. And just wait until De'Aaron Fox is on the court with Wemby. We're going to be even better. And whether you like Jeremy Sochan or not, he's at least a valuable asset off the bench as a defender. If that's the least thing you say about a Jeremy Sochan, I think is like, even if you're not a fan of him and you want to move him, etc., he gives us a great defender off the bench. I'm excited for this team. I can't wait to share the joy, the excitement, the agonies, the defeats, the victories, the thrills, all that stuff with you this coming season. And it's going to be a fun ride. So comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you. And as always, go Spurs, go!